My parents bought my brother a house in the same month. They refused to help save my daughter's life. She died while we were waiting. A few months later, my brother needed a family donor and my mother started begging me to get tested. I placed a sealed DNA report on the emergency room table and said, "Before you ask for my blood, tell him whose daughter I really am." My parents bought my brother a new house in the same month. They refused to help save my daughter's life. 3 days after the doctors told me we were running out of time, I called my father. I still remember his answer. "We're busy helping Michael start his new life right now." My daughter Eva was lying in a small hospital room, and I was sitting beside her bed, holding her tiny hand. The machines around her kept making quiet beeping sounds. Doctors came in again and again. They checked her reports. They looked at the numbers. Then they walked out without saying much. I wanted only one thing. I wanted someone to save my daughter. But while I was sitting beside my 5-year-old child, praying for a miracle, my parents were somewhere else, picking up keys to a new house they had bought for their son. My name is Emily Carter. I am 34 years old and I live in Columbus, Ohio. My daughter Eva was 5 years old. She was the happiest child I had ever known. She loved the color purple. She danced around the kitchen while I cooked dinner. Every night before going to sleep, she asked me the same 3 questions. "Mom, what are we doing tomorrow? Mom, can we go to the park?" And the last question was always the same. "Will you always stay with me?" I always smiled and answered, "Yes, sweetheart. Always." I never imagined that one day I would have to fight my own family just to keep that promise. My father, Richard Carter, 62 years old, a successful businessman. To everyone outside our home, he looked like a responsible and caring man. But inside our family there was one rule. Michael came first. My mother, Karen Carter, 60 years old. She cared deeply about appearances. She wanted everyone to believe our family was perfect, even when things were falling apart behind closed doors. My brother Michael, 36 years old, the favorite child. He grew up believing that someone would always come and fix his problems. Me, I was Emily, the daughter who always handled things alone. Maybe that was why everyone believed I would never need anyone. Eva's illness came without warning. One morning before school she collapsed. First I thought she was just tired. Maybe she had not eaten enough breakfast. But when it happened again, I didn't wait. I grabbed my keys and rushed her to the hospital. A few hours later, a doctor stood in front of me with a serious expression. "Miss Carter, we need to run more tests." I looked at him. "What's wrong?" He took a breath. "Your daughter has a rare medical condition. She needs treatment immediately." My hands became cold. "Can you treat her?" "Yes," he said. "But timing is extremely important." The treatment required a specific match. It also required financial support. My mind immediately went to my parents. I believed they would come. I believed they would see their granddaughter lying in that hospital bed. I believed they would say the words every daughter hopes to hear. "We're here." I called my father. He answered quickly. "Emily, is everything okay?" I tried to keep my voice steady. "Dad, Eva is in the hospital." There was silence. Then he asked, "How serious is it?" I looked at my daughter. "Very serious. The doctors say she needs immediate help." He sighed. "Emily, we're dealing with something important right now." I stopped. "What do you mean?" He said, "Michael's house purchase is being finalized." For a moment I thought I misunderstood him. "Are you serious?" "Yes." "Dad, my daughter is in the hospital." His voice stayed calm. "I know. But Michael needs our help too." I stared at the hospital floor. "You bought him a house?" "Yes." "And what about Eva's treatment?" Silence. Then he said, "We'll figure something out." Those words were enough. I understood. They had already chosen. If you are wondering how parents could choose their adult son's new house over helping save their granddaughter's life, stay until the end. Because months later that same son needed something from our family and my mother came to me begging. But this time I didn't just have pain. I had a truth they never wanted to face. Eva's treatment days were the hardest days I had ever lived through. I went from the hospital to work. From work back to the hospital. I slept in uncomfortable chairs beside her bed. I learned every sound the machines made. My friend Jessica helped me survive those weeks. One night she sat beside me and asked, "Have your parents come yet?" I shook my head. "No. Not even once." I looked at Eva sleeping. They're busy with Michael's house celebration. Jessica stared at me. Emily, that's not normal. I looked out the window. In my family, maybe it is. Because this wasn't the first time Michael came before me. When we were children, Michael wanted new sports equipment. My father bought it immediately. When I needed help with college expenses, my father said, "You're responsible. You'll figure it out." When Michael needed help finding his first job, my father used his connections. When I wanted to start my own small business, my mother said, "That's too risky." But when Michael started a business, everyone said, "He has potential." I spent years convincing myself that maybe I was just stronger. Maybe I didn't need as much help. But sitting beside Eva's hospital bed, I finally understood something. Being strong does not mean people are allowed to abandon you. A few weeks later, the doctor gave me another update. There may be a possible donor option for Eva, he said. My heart filled with hope. But we need more testing. For the first time in weeks, I felt like we might have a chance. Then my mother called. "Emily, we need to talk." Something about her voice felt different. "What happened?" She paused. "It's about Michael." I closed my eyes. "What about him?" "He needs a family donor for a medical treatment." I didn't speak. She wasn't asking about Eva. She was asking about Michael. "Mom, Eva is still fighting for her life." "I know," she said. "But Michael is our son too." I quietly answered. "And Eva is your granddaughter." The line went silent. Then she said, "You can get tested." I held the phone tightly. "Do you remember when I needed you?" No answer. I continued. "Do you remember when Eva needed you?" Still nothing. I remember. A few days later, I received a call from a lawyer. His name was Mr. Harris. "Emily, I need to discuss something important with you." "What is it about?" "Your family's old records." I frowned. "Why?" His voice became serious. "Because there is something your parents hid from you for years." I sat down. "What?" He took a moment. "Emily, Richard Carter is not your biological father." I froze. "What did you say?" "We have a DNA report." My hand tightened around the phone. "How is that possible?" "Your grandfather left documents behind." He suspected something was being hidden. That same day I saw the report. A sealed envelope. A truth that had been hidden from me for my entire life. And for the first time I decided I would not stay silent. Months later, a family meeting was arranged because Michael needed treatment. My mother called me. "Emily, we need your help." I arrived at the hospital. Michael was sitting in the room. He looked weak. My mother stepped toward me. "We need you." Open my bag. I placed a sealed envelope on the table. Everyone looked at it. Michael frowned. "What is that?" I looked directly at him. "Pi DNA test." My mother's expression changed. I said, "Before you ask for my blood, tell him whose daughter I really am." The room became silent. My father looked down. Michael looked at my mother. "What does she mean?" Nobody answered. Then the truth came out. My father knew. My mother knew. They had both hidden it from me. I was their daughter in every way that mattered. But they had treated me differently. They saw me as family when they needed something. But when I needed them, I became someone they could ignore. I refused to take the test for Michael. Not because I wanted revenge. Not because I wanted to hurt him. I refused because I finally understood something. My life mattered too. Today Eva's doing better. She goes to school. She still loves purple. She still asks me questions every night. My parents have apologized many times. I listened. But some damage cannot disappear because someone says sorry. Michael kept the house my parents bought him. But he never got the perfect family he always believed he deserved. Me. I built a new life with my daughter. A life where nobody has to beg to be important. Because people who only remember you when they need something eventually learn one thing. The quiet person is not always the weak one. Sometimes, they are just the person protecting the last truth they have left. Thank you for staying with Emily's story until the end. If this story touched your heart, please support us by liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more emotional stories. Your support means a lot to us. Share your thoughts in the comments and tell us what you would have done in Emily's situation.